I like making music and I like making games, but after 3 years I still don't have any music in my game Grapples Galore. Grapples Galore is a fast-paced arena shooter I'm making, focused on physics-based grappling hook movement. Be sure to wishlist it on Steam, by the way, if you think it looks cool. I've tried to make music for it in the past, but struggled to nail down a specific aesthetic that works for my game. The most important role of a video game OST is that it immerses players into your game. If you make a fire song that doesn't match your game, it's just gonna make your game feel worse. It's better to have a mid song that suits your game than an amazing song that doesn't. I've made quite a few songs that I'm really proud of, but I won't ever incorporate into this project just because they don't really suit it. For anyone wanting to make music for their game, I would say start by finding a BPM that suits your game. It's very important your song's pacing matches the pacing of your game. I have a fast-paced game, so for most songs in my game's OST, I went with the BPM of 120 to 140. Before you properly get started, you'll also want to focus on tone and instrumentation first. This part can be pretty hard, but I really just recommend listening to a bunch of different video game soundtracks that inspire you and evoke a similar feeling to your game. My game lies in a weird middle ground where it's fast-paced and intense, but also a little goofy, so I started by looking at similar physics-based multiplayer experiences for reference. I really like listening to a lot of Carl Floden's OSTs. I really like the vibe they give Landfall's silly physics games. I also delved into more intense synth soundtracks like Hotline Miami's and OXDO's. I don't know how you say it. Don't stray away from non-video game music too though. I personally listened to a lot of Carpenter Brut while making this soundtrack. This process is kinda like making a musical Pinterest board. For my game I wanted a middle ground between OXDO's and Stick Fight the Game's soundtracks. Now comes the fun part, actually making the music. This part's obviously going to vary a lot depending on the type of OST you're making, but for me I started by laying down some 4 on the floor drums. I tried not to make these overly intense though for this song. I then started by adding a little synth. Afterwards I added another little synth to complement the first one. I then added a juicy bass synth. I also like adding some background noise or foley because that really just helps fill out a song more and give it a little bit more texture. I won't get into any music theory behind what I'm doing, but if you guys want to learn some music theory, I recommend checking out these channels. I also don't really know the theory behind what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm just kind of going by ear. One thing to keep in mind though when making a soundtrack is it's probably worth switching up your track fairly frequently. You'll need to find a balance between letting your music groove without letting it get boring. I haven't really followed any particular song structure, but I'm currently just kind of letting my ear guide me for when ideas get old. So let's add the first little switch up. I also like adding a breakdown or two. And some cool little build-ups. I also love adding some more melodic synths as well.